Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here, and this is something that we've been trying to talk about for a good while: social tokens.
Yeah, we watched the beginning of it, literally the beginning of it. I guess if you want to identify Whale as like the catalyst or the pioneer in this
Yeah,
whole new sector, like we were there, dude, at the very beginning. And I'll be honest, at the very beginning, it definitely did not stick.
yeah. It was definitely hard to understand
Yeah,
what the purpose was, and it kind of at first it sounded like a few alarms, like a few red flags, but after taking a look at seeing how it transpired and really taking a deeper dive into what this is, I'm thinking every single entity out there that's has a following is going to start leveraging the tokenomics of a social token.
that's right.
So,
Especially if they have yeah, we'll get into why they would do that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it starts with whale, and it's starting to spiral off into new spin-off attempts, for generating these like social token backed community economies. It sounds fucking weird just because it is,
yeah,
but once you start to dive deep into it, it's like now like the legacy way we build communities and following starts to look scammy in the sense that
yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
like you give a good example. Like a lot of people spend a lot of time and energy like supporting, let's say, like a musician or an actor or something like that, right? Like they
Yeah.
just become total fanboys or girls, you
Yeah,
know?
they create fan sites, they create Instagrams. I mean, they generate their own content for people who like the musician or the artist or what have you.
Yeah, in a sense, they're
Expanding the brand.
yeah, they're leveraging their own talents, their own abilities to increase the brand value of whoever it is they're supporting, right? And in this old legacy system we live in today, these people are largely not compensated for the work they contribute to
That's right.
building this brand, this IP, this community, right? So like the purpose of these social tokens is to finally like have an aligned incentive for not just like the sole proprietor who is leading this community and like galvanizing all these people to help them contribute
Mm-hmm.
or help them build. The people actually putting in the work, what do you want to call it, the show factory, whatever you want to call it. These people are directly, I guess, incentivized to do these things, right? Because they're all token holders at this point. Like it's a communal growth effort, instead of just one entity profiting, the rest of us just kind of like wasting our time, right?
Yeah. So social tokens allows the community to get involved in expanding the reach and expanding the brand of the underlying content creator, right? The main content creator.
Yeah.
And it provides the community who wants to get involved a way to be compensated for their involvement. And I think with Whale and the other one that we're going to talk about, B20, are the two examples in which this is actually becoming, a viable method for followers, people who have a bunch of followers to get involved in a deeper level in a way where they actually get compensated for their interactions within the community itself.
And you're securing stake essentially in like all future productions, I guess, that come from this entity that you supported like earlier on, right? Like in the Whales case, if you're following Whale in the early days when the market cap was like sub 10 million, it was a huge risk back then, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but you had a huge opportunity at least to acquire that large stake share in the community,
Yeah.
so that now that it's a pretty sizable entity at this point, like there's a lot more opportunity for Whale to kind of leverage this new found capital
Yeah.
to create like actual some new product, right? Like I think in Whale's case, they leverage this not just community and capital to build like a clothing brand or something like that, right?
Right. Right.
So
And we've seen derivatives of this. There was a football player who, or was it basketball player, who tokenized a portion of his contract.
I think it was football.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's a social token, right? But in this case, it was potentially, what was it, an NFT, or I think it was a token for
For what?
for the football player.
Maybe it was a basketball player, but yeah, I'm not really sure. But I remember hearing about that story.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see this start to mature. I think there's going to be young basketball players and football players who tokenize their contract, and probably recoup some of the contract's value up front in exchange for tokens, and then hopefully he becomes, the next, super famous basketball or football player that's worth, $1 billion, right? Just like LeBron James or Michael Jordan or anybody like that. Imagine if you could buy Michael Jordan tokens in 1986 when he was a rookie.
Jeez Louise.
Dude,
Like, what would
those,
that entitle you to today?
yeah, I mean,
Basically, like partial, or at least like the Air Jordan brand itself would be part of the value proposition of the Jordan token, right?
yeah. And
Because
then
of
and
that,
then we creep into the SEC's definition of securities, because
yeah.
what you're doing is essentially owning a piece of Michael Jordan's career.
Without really owning a piece, in the sense that like you don't have claim to
Yeah, you don't.
ownership in, like, the Nike brand,
I think it's more like a speculative token that represents the trajectory of a career. And
Exactly.
if you believe that it's going to go up, then buying low, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
But
100%.
I guess it's just purely speculative. So people would trade the token based upon LeBron James winning a champion. Like if he wins a champion, they're not going to sell for a low price, right? So then you have like the standard speculative token value for
Mm-hmm.
for LeBron James.
Yeah, imagine that, dude. Imagine the green candle after winning a championship.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
massive green candle, because all the speculative implication of that, meaning like, okay, more brand deals, more merchandising,
Yeah,
you know, bigger contracts in the future. Like, so that means, bigger community, bigger everything for, like, the social value of that currency
yeah.
behind, the LeBron James,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then there's the flip side where there's like controversy, right? There's like allegations of this or that, and that's you're gonna see an equivalent red candle,
100%.
and
Yeah,
that's
like
that's part of the game, though.
yeah. But again, like, in today's world, like, you still have those same roller coaster emotional rides whenever
Yeah,
you, like, passionately follow these type of people.
absolutely.
Like, whenever there's good news, you feel it. Like, you feel like, oh, you feel that good news. When there's
Yeah,
bad news, you feel it too.
yeah.
But like in this case, you're actually gonna
See it on a chart.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
gonna be a chart to back it up, and like in your financial statements at the end of the year, it's also going to be reflected.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
be a roller coaster of 1099 form or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. But I mean, you know how people get really into sports, and one of the main reasons they get really into sports is not only because they follow a team or anything like that, but because they bet on sports games. And you can make any bland sport exciting when you put money on it.
Hell yeah, you can.
And so maybe this is that in like hyperdrive,
Mhm.
where every single moment that this career takes, whether it's up or down, like you're feeling it because you're holding those tokens. And
Mhm.
anytime you hate a player, you just like sell the tokens and then you just move on.
100%.
So
Yeah. So this is like what the things that will happen in a mature social token economy, right? But right
yeah,
now, like, well, they've taken a different approach, in the sense like they're leveraging the value of NFTs, right? I'm creating a vault.
yes,
So like the whale, that's the thing. The founder of this, he's an anonymous entity, right? And
mm-hmm,
we have debates whether or not that's a good or bad thing.
yeah.
Will, what do you think personally? Like, bad thing, right?
Personally, I mean, I've been convinced. Remember we used to have this conversation often, and I said there's no reason to be anonymous. And
Mm-hmm.
and then you bring up, well, Satoshi, and it's like, well, Satoshi was the first and could be single handedly changing the planet by his creation. So it made sense for him to be anonymous. But now when we spoke to Dev Protocol in an interview, they explained how a pseudonymous identity could exist on the blockchain where there's history to back up your anonymous ID.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's fine. I mean, he's had interviews. Like, for example, I'm going to bring up an interview between Whale and Paris Hilton.
The man, he doesn't want to reveal his identity for whatever reason, right? I mean, his voice is out there, and like you're saying, his on-chain identity is already established at this point. Everybody knows Whale Shark. It's
Yeah.
this. It's like an avatar, essentially. For all we know, it could be an artificial intelligence. You
Yeah,
don't really
right.
know if it's a real human being.
Yeah.
But
To
regardless,
learn. So I wanted to kind of stay.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So there he is, an avatar talking to Paris Hilton, and she's dropping her own NFT, and I think leveraging the Will brand behind it to a certain extent. I didn't follow this too much, so I don't know what's going on here, but
Regardless, this is like cross promotion, cross marketing in action. Like, whether or not, like, this is up to you as a speculator now. Like, do you want to be a part of the whale community after seeing an interview like this? Do you think Paris Hilton adds value to the brand behind the whale image, or does she detract from that brand?
I don't know. I don't know if
yeah,
anything like this detracts from the brand. I mean, I guess it depends. It depends, but
yeah,
I think overall this is good in the sense that I think celebrities like Paris Hilton and anyone who has like a huge following, they can quickly grasp the value of a social token a lot faster than somebody who just goes to work every day and it's like a normal person, right? That doesn't have a following. They can easily comprehend a social token. But in the flip side, if you follow LeBron James or it makes sense to have a social token for those guys and actually acquire those social tokens because you believe in LeBron James' future career, right? In that example. Exactly. So,
and you want to act like you could do cool things if you're LeBron James. Like, if you're a large token holder within the LeBron community, that can give you exclusive access to like a pair of sneakers or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
you could randomly be selected to go to the next game.
Exactly. Like
because you hold the NFT or whatever.
Yeah, these social tokens in combination with NFTs, like, give these people, these influencers, these celebrities, like, the framework and the tools to manage a community and engage with them and to like properly, leverage that so that and nurture it and grow it. And at the end of the day, the whole purpose is to increase the power of the brand itself that you're creating.
And then on top of this, if this were 2017, we would be signaling red flags, red alert, like this is the top, right? But this now, after 4 years from the last cycle, this is proper maturity. I think there is developing understanding to the value of these tokens in general, and then this new concept of a social token. I think this is proper development of this whole ecosystem.
Yeah. This is what adoption looks like, dude.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Because now the tool exists for them to, properly,
incentivize the community.
Yeah, and like actually play a part in the crypto economy, not just come in for like a quick money grab. A lot of these cases will result in like quick money grabs, but
yeah,
regardless, the potential is there for like long-term sustainability with these communities.
So B20 is the newest one, or newer than Whale. Right, it's a 31 million market cap. This is developed by Metakoven. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Metakoven. I'm not sure if he's like the sole owner of the B20 organization. I mean,
he's probably not the sole owner, but even if he is, it doesn't matter. This is Metakoven's the guy who bought the Beeple for $69 million. And there was an interview. I think it was, I forget who did the interview, but I saw it on Maddie's tweet, DCO blogger.
Like NBC or CNBC or something like that.
Yeah. And so that piece of art is going to exist in Decentraland, so you'll be able to see it deployed in land.
Yeah.
But so B20 is the same social token type backed by assets of Beeple and some land and building. And so he's doing very similar idea to Whale. So Whale's vault includes art as well, some top shots, and all kinds of stuff from all kinds of artists, right? Even game assets as well. And so Whale spent $2 million on the assets, and you can buy this token and represent a certain piece of the vault. And now he's being able to do rentals and all kinds of stuff, right? And so just think of an idea that you could leverage a community for, and this is like the prime example.
100%. Yeah, by doing this, like, these guys are positioning themselves to the point where, you onboard a community who's enthusiastic about the collection of NFTs you have ownership of. And therefore, now you have like a community to tap into for all future endeavors. A lot of project cases, that's one of the biggest, beginner barriers is like how to onboard a community, right? A loyal, supportive one, a passionate one that's going to support you, not just financially, but also like socially, right? Engage in the world with the rest of the world and like tell your message for you, spread the message of what it is your community is about. But like if you already do this framework through, the social token itself, no matter what project you end up developing in the future, you always have that to tap into, right? Like it just you leapfrog the competition.
Yeah. So I pose a question to you guys. What would you say if, let's say, the Block Runner created a token and 20% of our revenues went into this wallet governed by token holders, and the token holders can decide to buy NFTs or decide to buy this or that and into this vault? And would that be something of interest for anybody out there? And give us your feedback. Obviously, we don't make that much revenue from this channel, but
that's the speculation, right? If you've been watching us this whole time, you think there's some kind of magic between our conversations or whatever the fuck. You think we're brandable people?
Yeah.
You think we have a bright future ahead of us?
Yeah.
Buy our token now, right? Like be a part of the Block Runner community officially. Otherwise, if we don't tokenize and we do end up being like these big influencers in the crypto space, right? There's the potential for that. We're not claiming that's going to be a certainty.
Yeah.
But if that happens, largely we're the only ones who are going to benefit from that, to be honest.
Exactly.
Whatever sponsorship deals that results in, or whatever ad revenue that results in, that 100% goes to us.
That's right.
Instead of you guys who've been supporting us, really.
That's true.
With your viewership.
That's true.
But if we deploy this type of social token economy with our follower base from the beginning, that's the speculative value of it, right? Like it's kind of like you're betting on that potential.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, when the whale token dropped, I mean, it was less than $10 million for a long time, and I mean, who knows what can happen if you like support your favorite YouTuber through this mechanism of like token distribution. Like that's what blockchain enables. It enables the involvement of a community and the distribution of value to that community. So we'll leave that up to you guys. Comment below what you think, whether it's a good idea or bad idea. We want to hear it. Follow us on Twitter at the Block Runner and also at MeadowZone.io. Like, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.